to Smash Writing. I am your host, Paul, and this is Justin. Justin's fabulous idea. So, we are at the last...
We certainly saved the worst of the bunch.
We have a live audience.
Well, actually, no, this isn't the worst of the bunch, is it? That's the devil made me do it.
And he's still on. So, which film are we talking about, Justin?
We're talking about The Curse of Llorona this evening. Unlike before, I actually took notes on this movie.
My good. All three of those?
Well, no, this is just stuff that happened in the movie, so I don't remember.
Okay. So, here we are. We're at the finish line. And please, check out our
Certainly
ranking.
just fell over that finish line.
Please check out our ranking on our podcast side tomorrow. So,
we need the comments to settle something here before we start. How is this movie connected to The Conjuring? I thought it was the wedding dress.
And
in
truth is, it's not.
Annabelle goes home. Annabelle comes home.
The connection is the priest from the first film, Annabelle. When he's talking to the lead in this film...
And he says he came across a doll and he showed the...
They showed the little scene of him leaving church with Annabelle.
I thought he was killed. No, he was just knocked out, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But I say that... I think it can't be that small. No way is it that small that we connected this movie to. It has to be something else.
The character himself?
Because it can't be that dumb. It cannot be that.
Why are you surprised through this whole film series?
Because it can't be that dumb. At least there's a doll in the other one, and a nun in one.
And now there's a priest that's from a spin-off.
That means this is a spin-off of a spin-off. And what is that?
That is like your third generation cousin. You don't
it's
even
like you're
know.
gonna spin off of this one, and it's gonna be about the redwood from Curse of Llorona that's tied to the Conjuring from one priest that was in the Annabelle movie for about 5
years. Here's the best part. Like when I heard of this film the legit first time, they marketed it as a standalone, and then the quick little reveal with the priest. Other than that, there's no other connection. But yes, it's in the universe. I guess the other connection is the opening Warner Brothers logo and sound.
No, beside that, that's just
that's about it.
Promotional.
Right. Go ahead and run down the plot of this film.
The plot of this film. How am I supposed to run down the plot of this film? This movie kicks off with this family.
In the 1600s.
Is it the 1600s?
Yeah, 1673.
A mom and a dad and their kids doing a little circle.
Playing hide and go seek.
That's not what happened. It's just what you thought happened. It's not what happened. Little boy closes his eyes. He opens his eyes. Everyone's gone. And he finds his mom drowning his sibling in a creek.
Yeah.
He tries to run away, but the mom catches him. And then we jump to the 70s in Los Angeles, I believe.
Yes, 1973.
And we see this family, his mom, 2 kids, rushing to get ready. The mom works for CPS, Child Protective Services. And when she's there, she gets into a bit of an argument over one of her kids, the Alvarez case, almost being pulled from her because of her house situation. Her husband died. And she goes to the Alvarez's house, and the mom's there, and she just barely lets her in. And she finds a door with all these eyes. And she opens it after a scuffle with Alvarez, Patricia Alvarez.
Yes.
And the cop who came with her drags her off, and she manages to snag the key, and she finds the 2 sons in there. So the kids are taken off of her, put into a home where they are killed.
Drowned at the river.
The reservoir.
Yeah.
And they arrested the mom for it. I didn't understand why they arrested the mom for it. Pretty sure there was an alibi there. Okay. At least not an alibi, but how did she get in there? Too many questions about this.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and the mom, Patricia Alvarez. Now, while they called Anna, is the lead woman.
Yes.
To come down to see them for some reason. Why she had to be there?
No, Reed, this is a cop's case, and yes, her husband was a cop.
If
But
she's just Child Protective Services, I don't know why she'd be called to the crime scene.
she would be only called to, like, testify in court.
And she got called to the crime scene and she brought her own kids because she didn't have a babysitter. And the son sneaks out and is watching from afar, and he sees La Lenora, who grabs his arm and marks him.
Yes.
And that brings the ghost to the house. And he marks the daughter, and then he marks Anna. And then Anna goes to see Patricia to find out what really happened. And we learn that Patricia prayed to La Lenora to take her kids.
And so she can have
And that's
kids
why
back.
the ghost went after them, not because the boy saw her at the crime scene.
Yes. So then you go through the...
And Anna goes to the pastor that she met at the wake. And he says that the church has people, but there's too much red tape. So he sends her to Raphael, a guy
not the
who
best
uses... No, he's not. He's really not.
He was a priest in training, something like that, and then
He left the church to do his own thing. And she goes to him for help, and he helps fight off La Lenora with that. It's the movie. It's a movie.
Oh, this one.
Now, whenever I start picking apart the rules, realize I didn't make them. The Conjuring made these rules. And if you're going to present the rules, you gotta follow them in your movie.
Which this film does not.
Not really, no.
This film...
They really stretch that power of what ghosts can do. By far.
Well...
And I don't understand why La Lenora can be sicked around like a guard dog.
And then beat like almost every spell that tries to stop her.
It's like they put down those seeds in the doorway, right? They put down the seeds to stop her because they were the red blossom tree, the red lotus trees or whatnot, the fire tree seeds that have a connection to her. But we have seen throughout this movie that she makes powerful wind when she shows up.
Yes.
Wind that is capable of blowing open a door, blowing open a window, but it can't blow away seeds. And they only put it in the front door. They didn't bother the back door, they didn't bother any of the windows that she's already come from.
And then...
Their way of dealing with her was stabbing her in the chest.
With a piece of tree that witnessed her killing her kids because they were the only
They were the
witnesses.
only witness, was the tree. Was the tree. What am I supposed to say about this movie?
I'm not sure how I feel, because, you know,
They stabbed a ghost, Paul. They stabbed a ghost.
she wasn't a physical being anymore. She killed herself. Her spirit became not a demon.
A weeping willow ghost.
Yeah. Who you can pray to, and like you said, control her like a dog. They kind of like, they made the villain like a puppet.
I mean, unless it's just a coincidence, you know, like she prayed to her, but that's not what sicked her on this family. But why did she go after him then? Because she saw the kid?
Or
because she does seek out kids.
Well, here's what I read during the actual folklore, because this is a Mexican-American folklore.
Yeah, but none of that matters in this universe.
No, I know that, but in the folklore, to my understanding, she goes after everybody that lives around water. So like a pool, technically counts. But we learned in the movie universe of this folklore that she got onto this family, not because of the folklore being around water, it's because Patricia prayed to her.
So that is the reason. That's the reason we're going with.
Is the praying.
So this ghost is nothing more than a dog.
In this universe, Yes. In the Conjuring universe, she's nothing more than a dog.
A spiritual dog. Like, you want me to go kill him? Bark, bark, bark. On my way. Like...
I think if they did it based off the actual folklore, it would be probably more.
No, I think because at one point someone said that Llorona goes after kids and searching for kids to replace, which okay, but then why was Patricia there? Why was Patricia arrested?
Because the only
it's
thing...
the 70s, I guess. I mean, like,
They
matter
like
of convenience. I mean, they do release her and everything, but it's still like... You arrested her and dragged her down to the crime scene, or did you wait for her to show up at the crime scene to arrest her? Or?
Here's the thing. This is the lowest grossing Conjuring film in the
I believe it.
in the series. That includes the pandemic horrible Conjuring 3.
I believe it. Yeah, Conjuring would have just bring people in
because of the title itself.
Yeah.
Because it's the main series, which...
Devil made me do it. Malachi Black. Better than any of these freaking movies.
I don't know where... I mean... This film...
If it was a cursed object, at least I'd understand.
Like, yeah, he damaged a cursed object. The demon can't have power anymore, but the demon's not dead. Something like that.
It's not a demon. Not a demon.
It's not a demon. Demons
because this woman was alive.
Yeah, demons are and this is the Conjuring rules, as you stated.
Yeah.
The demons are non-human beings. They never walk the earth as a human.
And in the first Conjuring, Ed said ghosts aren't that powerful. But this ghost is pretty goddamn powerful. I mean, she ranks up there with some of the demons we've seen.
I mean, is she a hybrid?
One good thing in this movie. One good thing.
Raphael!
No. The look of Llorona. I did like the design of Llorona a lot. She looked pretty badass. She ranks up there with the nun, like giving competition to the nun.
Of the actual looking of the character. Yeah. That's your best part of the film.
Raphael's boring.
My best part is Raphael because his sarcasm, like the best part, like the mother's giving his speech about it's okay to be afraid, and the boy goes, "Is Raphael afraid?" He looks at the kid straight face, no. And then at the end of the film, Raphael goes, "You know, I was a little scared," and the boy's like, "Really?" He's like, "No." And the weird thing about this movie, it ends with the puddle of water.
No, with her looking in the puddle of water.
Yeah.
It's supposed to show all is good. All's clear.
This movie was... There's a reason why this movie is the most horrible one of the series.
That's wrong. This is not the worst movie in the series. It's close.
And listen to our podcast tomorrow.
I mean, did you not just hear my tangent about Conjuring 3?
Yeah, spoiler for our podcast episode. I'm glad this is finally over, Justin.
Yeah, right?
We can move on to bigger and better things now.
Bury this series in the trash heap.
What was once probably a normal plot holes turn into a spin-offs of cousins of spin-offs.
This cannot be... The only connection cannot be this, the pastor. There has to be something. Come on, comment board. Give me something else here. It can't just be that.
Unfortunately, unless you miss something and I miss something, that scene with the priest himself...
See, I thought it was the wedding dress.
No. That's another character.
Because then at least if it's the wedding dress, it's a cursed object and...
And that's the whole thing, when she becomes a ghost, she's not at a wedding.
It can't be a cursed object, but it has to be something else. God's sakes.
Alright, this is the end of the episode where you give your rating. D? I'm going to give it probably a D as well. There was material to make it better, they just didn't.
What material?
The actual folklore.
No,
I mean, the folklore itself is haunting. they could have ran more stuff with that. And okay, the Thing connection with the Conjuring, because this is a third generation. This is a spinoff of a spinoff.
It can't be spin-off. No, it can't be that dumb.
They did do it. That
can't be that dumb, I'm telling you.
You asked, there is no Father Perez.
I did not ask you anything.
Shut
I
up.
asked.
The only thing
questions.
I can think of, unless that father, the character's name, was a priest
Something like that.
in The Conjuring somewhere where they only mention the name. But I don't, because the Conjuring film series takes mostly on the West Coast, East Coast, and Connecticut and all those states. Father Perez lives in California. So even if they didn't mention, that means they would have to there might only be that Annabelle scene.
It can't just be that Annabelle scene.
Listen to our podcast as we rank them.
I'm sure the fans will love hearing me on that.
Until next week.